Well, good morning. Have we any visitors this morning? From where? I didn't hear you. Oh, St. Alphonsus. Oh, well, that was some exotic place. St. Alphonsus. Okay. Reno, Nevada. See now? We're talking here. That's much more exotic than St. Alphonsus. Anywhere else? Yes, sir. Florida. What part? Okay, Florida. Anybody else? From where? Canton, Ohio. Okay. Well, see, we have lots of you here. Now, there's others here too, but they're shy. That's okay. This morning in the gospel, we find Jesus being chased around. Now, to understand today's gospel, you have to remember the gospels for the last 3 weeks. Okay? So where were we 3 weeks ago? You don't remember. 3 weeks ago, Jesus was preaching with his disciples and ministering to the people, and Jesus said to them, that's it, we need to rest. And they got into the boat and they crossed the sea, remember? And when they got there, the people who had been where they left from at Capernaum had hot-footed it around the lake and beat them. And they were there when they got off. And so Jesus continued to take care of them. Then last week, Jesus said, we got to feed these people. He challenged Philip. And Philip then failed the test, and he got the loaves and fishes, and he multiplied the loaves and fed the people. Now, today we pick up the story. While the people apparently are sitting around eating and kibitzing and talking, Jesus sneaks out. He leaves. And he goes back across the lake to Capernaum. And what happens? They all get up and they go back to Capernaum. And that's where the story picks up today. That they're coming after him. And they're coming after him, the gospel says, because they want to make him a king. And Jesus understands that that's not what his work is. His work is not to be a bread king. I'll make you king because you give me something to eat. I make you king because you give me something that makes me comfortable. Jesus, so he runs. He gets back over to Capernaum, to the little town where he and the disciples lived, which was headquarters for most of his ministry. And he gets into the exchange with them. And he says to them, Moses didn't give the people bread in the desert. God did. And he said, the same thing is true here. That my task is not to give you bread. My task is to lead you to the source of the bread. My task is to take you to the source of goodness. My task is to be the bridge so that through me you will come to know the one true God. And in coming to know God, you will have your needs fulfilled. Now, the challenge for us, especially in our society, is that there is a difference between what we want and what we need. We all want something, right? We all want something. I want to win the lottery. Do I need to win the lottery? No. I want to be 32 again, but that's not going to happen. I'd like most of my hair back. That ain't going to happen. I'd like to gain thinness again. You know you should never lose weight. You know that, don't you? Because psychologically we're told that you don't want to ever lose anything. So you want to gain thinness. And I see I'm not alone. So we want to gain thinness. So there's many things we want, but we don't need all of them. And what Jesus is saying, if you come to me and you see me for who I am, if you see me for the manifestation of God in your life, then I will give you what you need, not what you want. Because oftentimes what we want is what keeps us from God. Oftentimes what we want is what distracts us from truth. Sometimes what we want doesn't bring us closer, but further away from true joy. So there's a difference between need and want. There's also a difference between pleasure and joy. Joy is all-encompassing. It fills us, spirit and body. Pleasure has only to do with the body. It is short-term, and it never fulfills. It's a quick fix. It's a moment, but it's not a way of life. So we need to look at those dichotomies in our own spiritual journey today and realize that if Jesus for us is Santa Claus, then we don't understand Jesus. Because Jesus is not here to give us what we want, but to give us what we need. And to walk with us in the journey of need, to walk with us until we come to the fulfillment that produces true joy, that produces true peace, that produces a sense of balance and life within us. So, we're no different than those people around the Sea of Galilee who kept chasing him around. Give us more bread. You don't need more bread. What you need is to understand your God. So, what's the challenge for us today? Look at everything you have. Look at everything you own. Look at everything you are. And give thanks to God. Because He gave it to us. We didn't get it on our own. Oh, I built this career myself. I worked hard hours. I did this. Yeah, but you didn't get hit with a pat bus. You could have. So God's in there somewhere. I've said over and over again, what we're responsible for is our effort. Only God is responsible for the outcome. You can play the best game of your life and lose the game. You can play the worst game of your life. Ask the Pirates. And still win. We're responsible for the effort, not for the outcome. But we always emphasize the outcome. It's time for us to emphasize the effort and to realize that God wants to be our bread, that God wants to be our means to the end. But God Himself is in charge of the outcomes. So let us embrace God today. Let us take God and make Him our own today. Let us not ask God for stuff, but rather ask God simply to be content in His love for us. God knows what we need. So often, our prayer is telling God what He already knows. We need to go to God in prayer, and with the simple prayer, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. As you and I pray today, let us think of those guys running around the Sea of Galilee looking for bread, looking for their personal comfort, and realize that that's not our job. Our job is to seek truth. Our job is to seek salvation. Our job is to seek a relationship with Jesus, to become one with Him, and in coming one with Him, come to know both God and our salvation. Let's not run around the lake anymore looking for stuff, but rather let us embrace God, and He will give us everything that we need. Be at peace.